Stop everything you're doing right now because what I'm about to reveal will completely change the way you see yourself, the way women see you, and the way your life unfolds. Most men think attraction is about looks, charm, or money. Most men believe they need to impress or compete to get noticed. But that's not the truth. Younger women are not drawn to superficial displays. They are drawn to qualities most men don't even realize exist. These are the traits that make a man unforgettable, irresistible, and respected. And today, I'm going to expose exactly what those traits are in a way you've never heard before. By the end of this video, you're going to understand the subtle forces that draw admiration and desire, forces that don't rely on flashy gestures or temporary tricks. You're going to see why some men naturally command attention without even trying, while others fade into the background no matter how hard they chase. And you're going to learn how to cultivate these qualities in your own life so that the energy you carry speaks louder than words, louder than wealth, louder than status. This isn't a list of cliches you've seen 100 times. This is the real psychology behind attraction. The truths most men are blind to, the lessons women notice instinctively, and the principles that create influence, respect, and magnetism without manipulation. Every second you watch will reveal insight that can transform your confidence, your presence, and your relationships forever. So stay with me until the end, because if you truly grasp this, it just change how women see you. You'll change how the world responds to you. What I'm about to teach you will shock you, it will challenge you, and it will empower you to become a man whose presence is impossible to ignore. Let's start with something most people completely misunderstand about confidence. Many think confidence is loud, flashy, or even aggressive. They think it's about showing off wealth, looks, or status. But the truth is far more subtle, far more profound. True confidence is quiet. It doesn't demand attention. It doesn't need applause. It is the inner certainty of a man who knows who he is, what he stands for, and where he is going. It is a calm power, a magnetic presence that draws people in without effort. And this is exactly what younger women sense almost instantly in older men. You see, when a man carries himself with this quiet confidence, he signals something much deeper than surface-level attraction. He signals stability, security, and the ability to handle life as it comes. There's a psychological principle here that many overlook. Humans are wired to notice competence and certainty. When someone is at peace with themselves, when they don't second-guess every word, every action, every choice, it creates a sense of trust, admiration, and fascination. Younger women are naturally drawn to this energy because it feels rare in a world where so many are insecure and frantic. But let's be honest, confidence is not something you can fake convincingly for long. Arrogance is easy, confidence is earned. Arrogance shouts, "Look at me." Confidence whispers, "I am enough." And that whisper, believe it or not, is louder than any shout when it comes to attraction. When you walk into a room with confidence, people feel it before they even see you. There's a rhythm in your voice, a steadiness in your gaze, a calm in your posture. It's almost hypnotic, not because you are trying to hypnotize, but because you are in harmony with yourself. Now consider why younger women are particularly responsive to this. At a certain point in life, experience becomes a magnet. Older men have lived, they have faced challenges, they have made mistakes and learned from them. That experience is wrapped in a calm certainty that is visible, even without words. When she looks at a confident older man, she isn't just seeing a person, she's seeing proof of life well lived, proof that someone can navigate the world with grace and composure. That is irresistible because it offers something she may unconsciously crave, a sense of stability in a world that often feels unpredictable and chaotic. The difference between arrogance and confidence also lies in the ability to listen, to engage without judgment, and to move through the world without needing validation. An arrogant man brags, he competes, he proves himself constantly. A confident man does none of this. He doesn't feel the need to outshine anyone because he already knows his value. And that paradoxically draws attention. It draws curiosity. It draws respect. People, and especially younger women, notice this immediately. They feel safe, they feel intrigued, and they feel compelled to engage with it. Let's pause for a moment to reflect on the philosophical depth of this. Confidence without arrogance is essentially mastery over the self. It is an understanding of your own worth without having to demand it from the world. It is the harmony between humility and power. And here's the thing, life rewards this type of man in ways that surface-level charm never can. Relationships, opportunities, respect, these naturally gravitate toward a man who has learned to be at peace with himself. But confidence is not just about internal stability. It also manifests in action. It shows up in how you communicate, how you respond under pressure, how you make decisions. The confident man doesn't overthink every interaction, doesn't seek approval for every choice, and doesn't let fear dictate his behavior. He moves with intention, not desperation. He makes decisions calmly, without panic, without need for validation. And this, when observed, is magnetic. Younger women consciously or unconsciously detect this energy. They sense a man who knows the rules of the game but isn't a slave to them. That knowledge, that command of self, communicates strength and security, and that is deeply attractive. Another key point to understand is that confidence without arrogance requires self-awareness. It requires knowing your strengths and weaknesses and being unafraid to acknowledge both. It's not about pretending to be perfect. It's about embracing imperfection without shame. It's about walking through the world with the understanding that your flaws do not diminish your value, your worth, or your capacity to inspire admiration. Women respond to this because it feels authentic. It feels real. And in a world full of pretense and posturing, authenticity stands out like a lighthouse in the dark. But perhaps the most overlooked element of confidence is patience. True confidence does not rush or demand. It understands timing. It understands that respect and attraction are cultivated through presence, through consistency, through the quiet assertion of self over time. An older man who embodies this patience becomes magnetic because he does not cling, he does not chase, he does not pressure, he exists, and his existence alone communicates value. Women notice this even if they cannot articulate it immediately. They are drawn to it because it feels rare, it feels intentional, it feels safe and powerful at the same time. And let's be brutally honest here, confidence is one of the most misunderstood qualities in relationships. Many men think they have to be flashy, aggressive, or forceful to capture attention. But the reality is the opposite. Confidence is subtle, confidence is grounded, confidence is a deep, unwavering inner force that doesn't need external validation to prove itself. And this subtlety is what younger women find irresistible. It's not about showing off, it's about showing up as your best, most authentic self consistently over time. So, how do you cultivate this kind of confidence? You live deliberately, you embrace challenges and learn from them. You master your emotions instead of letting them control you. You commit to continuous growth, to becoming a man who is not perfect, but powerful in his authenticity. You understand that life is not a competition of appearances, it's a journey of mastery over self. And through that mastery, the world and the people you encounter will naturally gravitate toward you. To put it simply, confidence without arrogance. E is not just attractive, it's transformative. It shifts the way others see you, the way women perceive you, and most importantly, the way you perceive yourself. It is the foundation upon which respect, admiration, and deep connection are built. It is a silent power that speaks louder than words, louder than wealth, louder than status. So here's the challenge I leave you with. Stop trying to prove yourself. Stop seeking validation. Stop shouting to the world that you are worthy. Instead, focus on becoming the man who naturally commands attention by being grounded, authentic, and steady. Build your life around mastery of self. Embrace your imperfections and carry yourself with quiet, unwavering confidence. Because when you do this, you don't just attract attention, You inspire, you captivate, and you leave a mark that lasts. Remember this: confidence without arrogance is not something you wear. It is something you live. It is the invisible force that draws people, and especially younger women, toward you, not because you try, but because you are. And the moment you truly embody this, you will understand that the world responds not to noise, but to presence. Become that man, and the rest will follow. Let's talk about something most people completely overlook when it comes to attraction and relationships. Many think that to be desirable, to be admired, or to captivate someone's attention, you need to be exciting, unpredictable, or larger than life. But the truth is almost the opposite. One of the most magnetic qualities a man can possess, especially to younger women, is emotional stability, not charisma, not charm, not impulsive energy, emotional stability, the calm, ground, stead presence that tells the world and tells her that you can handle whatever comes your way without losing yourself. Think about it for a moment. Life is chaotic. The world is unpredictable. People are often dramatic, reactive, and impulsive. In this environment, someone who is calm, who can respond instead of react, who carries themselves with a steady heart and mind, becomes immediately noticeable. It's almost instinctual. Younger women, whether they realize it or not, are drawn to men who can navigate life without being controlled by every fluctuation of mood, every crisis, every minor setback. Emotional stability signals reliability. It signals maturity. It signals that this man is not only capable of handling himself, but capable of being a source of security and calm in a turbulent world. But emotional stability is not simply about suppressing feelings or appearing cool under pressure. Far from it. It is about mastery over the self. It is about understanding your emotions deeply, allowing them to exist without being ruled by them, and making choices from a place of clarity rather than reaction. An older man who embodies this has often faced challenges, heartbreaks, failures, and victories, and through all of it, he has learned to stay grounded. That grounding is magnetic because it is rare. Most people, young or old, live their lives at the mercy of their emotions, constantly reacting, constantly seeking validation, constantly caught in cycles of drama. But someone who is emotionally stable rises above this, and that rise is immediately attractive. Younger women in particular notice this because emotional stability communicates something powerful: safety. It tells her that when the world pressures, criticizes, or confuses her, there is someone who will remain steady, who will think clearly, and who will act thoughtfully. Emotional stability is a form of silent strength, and strength, when paired with respect, is deeply magnetic. It is different from physical strength or dominance. This is a strength that doesn't need to assert itself, it simply exists, and that presence is enough to command admiration, attention, and trust. Consider the psychology of this. Humans are wired to notice patterns, to seek out sources of stability, and to avoid chaos. Emotional stability in a man is a pattern of predictability, but in the best sense. Not predictability in behavior that is boring or rigid, but predictability in character, in responses, in decision-making. It's knowing that when challenges arise, this man will not crumble. He will think, he will act, he will respond. That pattern, repeated over time, builds respect and attraction that cannot be faked. Younger women sense this almost instantly. They sense whether someone's emotions control them or whether they control their emotions, and that sensing creates deep admiration. Emotional stability also creates space for connection. When a man is emotionally stable, he is capable of listening without judgment, of speaking without anger, of resolving conflicts without drama. He can hold space for others, allowing them to be vulnerable without being overwhelmed. And this, above almost anything else, is profoundly attractive. Women want a partner they can trust with their inner world, someone who won't react destructively to their vulnerability, someone who will respond with thoughtfulness, patience, and care. Emotional stability is the gateway to that trust, and trust is the foundation of attraction that lasts. Now, let's address a critical misunderstanding. Emotional stability does not mean emotional suppression. It does not mean being cold, detached, or indifferent. Those qualities are not attractive, they are alarming. Emotional stability means presence. It means awareness. It means choosing how to respond rather than being hijacked by feelings. It's the difference between a man who erupts in anger when criticized and a man who calmly evaluates the situation, responds with clarity, and maintains dignity. It's the difference between a man who obsesses over a problem and a man who finds solutions without losing his composure. This difference, subtle as it may seem, is profoundly magnetic to younger women. Philosophically, emotional stability is a reflection of self-mastery. It is proof that a man has faced himself, confronted his fears, acknowledged his weaknesses, and learned to navigate life without losing his center. It is the alignment of mind and heart, intellect and emotion, action and thought, and it communicates something deeply attractive, that this man is capable of facing life's storms without sinking, that he can be counted on, that he is unwavering even when everything around him is uncertain. But here's what most men miss. Emotional stability is attractive not because it makes you perfect, but because it makes you safe, reliable, and inspiring. Younger women are not looking for perfection. They are looking for a man who can walk beside them through life's challenges with calm confidence, who can think clearly when emotions run high, and who can offer guidance without dominating, support without suffocating. Emotional stability is the invisible thread that binds admiration, respect, and attraction. It is subtle, almost imperceptible at first, but once noticed, it becomes irresistible. And let's be honest, this quality is rare. In a world obsessed with drama, attention-seeking, and impulsivity, a man who is emotionally stable stands out like a lighthouse in a storm. He does not react to every provocation. He does not overextend himself emotionally. He does not crumble under pressure. Instead, he maintains equilibrium, and that equilibrium is magnetic. Younger women, often navigating a world filled with uncertainty and emotional chaos themselves, are drawn to that stability because it represents security, wisdom, and trustworthiness. To cultivate this quality, you must begin by understanding yourself. Recognize your triggers, your patterns, your fears, and your desires. Learn to observe your emotions without judgment. Practice responding rather than reacting. Develop patience, cultivate calm, and commit to growth. Emotional stability is not a switch you turn on, it is a lifestyle, a practice, a journey of self-mastery. And as you walk that journey, your presence will naturally become magnetic, drawing admiration, respect, and yes, love. The beauty of emotional stability is that it transforms not only your relationships, but your life. It allows you to navigate challenges with clarity, to communicate effectively, to maintain focus under pressure, and to inspire confidence in those around you. When paired with other qualities like confidence, purpose, and wisdom, emotional stability becomes a cornerstone of a man who is not just attractive, but unforgettable. So here is the truth you need to take with you. Women are not drawn to chaos, to drama, or to unpredictability. They are drawn to calm in the storm, to steady hands when the world trembles, to clarity when confusion reigns. Emotional stability is not just a trait, it is a superpower. It signals maturity, reliability, strength, and depth. It creates trust, admiration, and connection. And most importantly, it is something you can cultivate, something you can master, something you can live every single day. Becoming emotionally stable is not easy, but nothing worth achieving ever is. It requires reflection, discipline, patience, and the courage to face your own mind. But when you commit to it, you become a man who commands attention not through noise, but through presence, not through drama, but through calm, not through force, but through integrity. And when you achieve this, younger women, and indeed everyone around you, will naturally gravitate toward your energy. Let's be brutally honest for a moment. In today's world, so many men drift through life without a clear purpose. They wake up, go through the motions, chase distractions, and call it living. And the truth is, younger women notice this immediately. They may not say it out loud, but their instincts are sharp. They are drawn to men who have a mission, who are intentional, who live with vision. Purpose is magnetic. Vision is irresistible. Because when a man knows where he's going, he communicates something that words alone cannot capture: confidence, direction, and meaning. Purpose is not about showing off a title, a paycheck, or a position. It's deeper than that. Purpose is about being fully alive in the pursuit of something meaningful. It's about waking up every day with clarity and drive, knowing that your life is moving forward, not just spinning in circles. And when an older man has this, younger women notice. They sense the energy, the focus, the fire that burns quietly but persistently. It's attractive because it promises a life that is intentional, not chaotic, that is guided by values, not whims, that is built on vision, not idle wandering. Think about the psychology behind this. Humans are wired to respond to direction. We are drawn to individuals who seem to know themselves, who have clear goals, who operate with structure and intentionality. An older man with purpose communicates competence, stability, and reliability without even trying. Younger women are instinctively drawn to this because it signals that he can navigate the complexities of life with clarity and confidence. When she sees a man who knows his path, she doesn't just see him, she sees a potential partner for a life that has meaning, direction, and growth. That vision becomes alluring because it promises alignment, safety, and inspiration. But purpose alone is not enough. Vision without action is meaningless. Many men claim to know their purpose, but in reality they are waiting, hesitating, or procrastinating. Vision requires action, consistency, and relentless pursuit. A man who dreams but does not act is invisible, but a man who acts, who takes deliberate steps every day toward his goals, becomes magnetic. Women are drawn to momentum. They are drawn to energy that is purposeful, not aimless. They admire men who face challenges head-on, who plan, execute, and progress, even when the world doubts them. Action transforms purpose from a concept into a tangible force that shapes life and attracts admiration. Now, let's consider why this resonates so deeply with younger women. They are often navigating a world filled with uncertainty, distractions, and confusion. They are searching for stability, inspiration, and clarity, not just in their own lives, but in the men they choose to be with. When a man has vision, he becomes a lighthouse amidst the fog. He signals that life can be structured, meaningful, and ambitious. He signals that there is direction, there is growth, and there is an understanding of the world that is rare, mature, and deeply attractive. Purpose and vision communicate that he is someone to follow, not in a submissive sense, but as a partner in a journey towards something greater than themselves. Philosophically, purpose is tied to identity. When a man knows his purpose, he knows who he is. He is not defined by fleeting opinions, by external validation, or by temporary circumstances. He is defined by his mission, his values, and his relentless pursuit of growth. And this self-definition creates a magnetic presence. Women, especially younger women, instinctively notice a man who has self-mastery through purpose. They sense that he is not distracted by trivialities, that he is not reactive to every external stimulus, and that he is building a life of significance. That energy, calm yet powerful, is irresistible because it communicates stability, strength, and depth. But purpose is not just about career, status, or ambition. It's about the way a man carries himself, the choices he makes, and the energy he radiates. Purpose is visible in the small things, the way he speaks, the way he plans, the way he interacts with the world. It's visible in his discipline, his consistency, and his commitment to growth. Women notice this because it is rare. Most men drift. Most men follow trends, seek approval, and react impulsively. But a man with purpose moves like a force of nature, steady, deliberate, and directed. That movement, subtle as it may be, communicates power, reliability, and attraction. Let's also discuss the element of vision. Vision is the ability to see beyond the present moment, to imagine a future, and to act in alignment with that imagination. Older men who possess vision are not content with short-term gratification. They think long-term, plan strategically, and act deliberately. This type of vision communicates that he is not a follower, but a leader in his own life. And younger women, consciously or unconsciously, are drawn to leadership that is grounded, purposeful, and respectful. Vision promises a life that is meaningful, not random. It promises a partner who can navigate challenges, create opportunities, and inspire growth. And this promise, whether spoken or unspoken, is deeply magnetic. There is also a philosophical depth to this. Purpose and vision are tied to legacy. A man who knows his purpose is not just living for today, he is building a life that matters. He is creating impact, leaving footprints, and shaping a story that is larger than himself. That kind of thinking, that kind of energy, is rare and deeply attractive. Younger women are drawn to men who think beyond themselves because it signals maturity, depth, and the potential for partnership in something meaningful. Purpose becomes a silent language of strength, commitment, and character that communicates more powerfully than words ever could. The challenge, of course, is that purpose and vision require discipline, reflection, and courage. They require a man to confront his fears, clarify his values, and commit to consistent action, even when the world is uncertain. Many men avoid this work because it is uncomfortable, but those who embrace it become magnetic because they operate from alignment. Their actions, words, and presence all reinforce the reality that they are men who know themselves, control their direction, and live intentionally. And that alignment is irresistible to younger women who crave stability, growth, and inspiration. Here is a truth that most men never realize: purpose and vision are not just attractive, they are transformative. They change the way women perceive you, the way people respond to you, and the way life unfolds around you. A man with vision naturally inspires respect, admiration, and attraction because he operates from a place of clarity, direction, and intentionality. He does not chase approval. He does not react to distraction. He does not drift aimlessly. He moves with deliberate steps toward a life of significance, and that movement is magnetic. So, if you want to embody this quality, start with self-reflection. Ask yourself, what drives me? What do I stand for? What is my mission in life? Then act on it relentlessly. Build habits, pursue goals, and develop consistency. Let your life tell a story of purpose and vision that words alone could never convey. When you do this, your presence will not only command attention, it will inspire, captivate, and attract admiration from those who understand the value of a life well lived. Remember this: younger women are not attracted to indecision, aimlessness, or superficial charm. They are drawn to men who have clarity, direction, and purpose. They are drawn to men who act, who grow, and who inspire. Purpose and vision are not just traits, they are a force. They are the silent magnet that pulls respect, admiration, and attraction toward you. And the moment you align your life with clarity, intent, and action, you will understand why this quality is among the most powerful and rare forms of attraction. Let's talk about a quality that most men completely misunderstand. When they hear the word dominance, their minds immediately jump to aggression, control, or intimidation. They imagine shouting, forcing, or demanding respect. But what younger women are truly drawn to is not this kind of dominance at all. They are drawn to what I call respectful dominance. This is a form of strength that is quiet, controlled, and deeply magnetic. It is the ability to lead without forcing, to influence without manipulating, and to stand firm without overshadowing others. It is power wrapped in respect, presence wrapped in humility, and authority wrapped in integrity. Respectful dominance is different from arrogance or control. It does not seek to overpower or belittle. It does not demand attention or obedience. Instead, it communicates a deeper truth: that this man knows himself, understands the world, and is capable of holding space for others while remaining grounded in his own strength. Younger women, even if they cannot articulate it immediately, sense this energy instinctively. It signals stability, reliability, and security. It tells them that this is a man who can navigate challenges, protect what matters, and act with integrity in every situation. That is irresistible. Think about the psychology behind it. Humans are wired to respond to leaders, but not to tyrants. There is a difference between someone who dominates out of insecurity and someone who commands presence through confidence and clarity. Respectful dominance falls into the latter category. It is a demonstration of self-mastery. It is the proof that a man has faced himself, confronted his fears, and chosen not to react impulsively to life's challenges. And that calm, grounded, quiet authority is something that women are naturally drawn to. It communicates that this man is capable, reliable, and worthy of trust. One of the most powerful aspects of respectful dominance is how it shows up in interactions. This is not about loud displays of power or controlling behavior. It is about subtlety. It is about the way a man carries himself, the way he communicates, and the way he makes decisions. A man who embodies respectful dominance listens attentively without interrupting. He speaks with clarity without belittling. He sets boundaries without being harsh. He acts decisively without being reckless. And through all of this, he maintains a balance between strength and compassion, authority and empathy. That balance is magnetic because it is rare, and it creates a sense of safety and admiration in those around him. Younger women are particularly attuned to this kind of energy because it signals partnership rather than control. They do not want a man who dominates out of ego. They want a man who leads out of competence. They want someone who can make decisions, who can take charge when necessary, who can protect and guide, but who also respects their autonomy, their voice, and their choices. Respectful dominance is about creating an environment where both partners can thrive, where strength does not oppress, and where authority inspires rather than intimidates. It is this combination of power and respect that creates deep attraction and lasting admiration. Philosophically, respectful dominance is rooted in self-mastery. A man cannot lead others effectively if he cannot lead himself. He cannot demonstrate authority without understanding his own values, emotions, and principles. He cannot earn respect if he does not respect himself. This self-awareness and self-control create an energy that is visible even when it is subtle. Women instinctively notice when a man's power is grounded in integrity rather than ego. They feel it in the way he responds under pressure, in the way he communicates during conflict, and in the way he navigates the challenges of life. It is this energy, this presence that is deeply captivating. Another key aspect is restraint. True dominance is not about doing everything you can simply because you can. It is about choosing wisely when to act, when to speak, and when to assert yourself. An older man with respectful dominance does not feel the need to prove himself constantly. He does not need to control situations unnecessarily. Instead, he observes, assesses, and intervenes strategically. That level of discernment communicates intelligence, maturity, and strength. Younger women notice this because it signals a man who is confident enough in himself to act from principle rather than impulse. Respectful dominance also creates trust. When a man demonstrates this quality, he shows that he is capable of protecting what matters without becoming controlling. He demonstrates that he can make tough decisions without arrogance or rashness. He demonstrates that he values others' perspectives while remaining grounded in his own. Trust is built in these moments, and trust is the foundation of attraction that goes far beyond superficial charm. Younger women, consciously or unconsciously, are drawn to men they can rely on, men who are strong yet fair, decisive yet compassionate. Respectful dominance embodies all of these traits. Let's also understand the contrast. Many men mistake aggression, overconfidence, or forcefulness for strength, but these qualities repel more than they attract. Arrogance communicates insecurity, impulsiveness communicates instability, and force communicates fear rather than power. Respectful dominance, by contrast, communicates calm authority. It is power that does not need to scream to be heard. It is presence that does not need to demand attention to command it. It is strength that quietly but undeniably influences the world around it. And that influence, subtle as it may be, is magnetic. From a practical standpoint, cultivating respectful dominance requires a combination of self-awareness, emotional control, and integrity. It requires that you understand your values and principles and commit to living by them consistently. It requires that you master your emotions so that you can act decisively without being reactive. It requires that you develop patience, restraint, and discernment, choosing the right moments to assert authority and the right moments to step back. And most importantly, it requires humility, the understanding that true power does not need to dominate, control, or belittle others. It simply exists quietly, consistently, and effectively. Philosophically, respectful dominance is about aligning your power with purpose. It is about understanding that influence is most effective when it is combined with respect. It is about recognizing that the strongest leaders are not those who force compliance, but those who inspire it. And this philosophy, when embodied by an older man, becomes magnetic to younger women because it communicates strength, maturity, and integrity. They sense that this man is not only capable of leading, but capable of partnership, capable of stability, and capable of fostering growth in both himself and those around him. And let's be clear, this quality is rare. In a world filled with loud egos, impulsive reactions, and superficial displays of power, a man who embodies respectful dominance stands out. He is calm in the storm, firm without harshness, assertive without arrogance. He creates a presence that commands respect and inspires admiration. Younger women, even if they are not consciously analyzing it, feel the energy and they are drawn to it because it promises a sense of security, trust, and partnership that is difficult to find elsewhere. The beauty of respectful dominance is that it is not about domination, it is about influence. It is not about control, it is about presence. It is not about ego, it is about mastery of self. And this mastery, subtle as it may be, communicates everything that younger women are searching for: stability, integrity, competence, and strength wrapped in respect. When an older man embodies this, he becomes irresistible. Not because he tries, but because he simply is. So, if you want to cultivate this quality in your life, start by looking inward, understand your values, master your emotions, and commit to acting with integrity and wisdom. Practice restraint, act decisively when necessary, and always lead with respect. Build a presence that communicates power without aggression, authority without control, and strength without arrogance. And over time, you will notice the shift, not just in how women perceive you, but in how the world responds to your presence. Let's talk about something that most people never notice, but which is among the most magnetic qualities a man can possess: wisdom that speaks without words. This is not about being book smart or reciting knowledge. This is not about showing off experience or giving unsolicited advice. This is about the energy, the presence, and the subtle authority that comes from having truly lived, observed, and understood life. It is a quiet power, a depth that cannot be faked, and a presence that resonates with people, even younger women, on a level that goes far beyond superficial attraction. Think about it carefully. The world is full of noise. It is full of people trying to impress, to dominate, to prove themselves through words, gestures, or possessions. But a man who possesses this kind of wisdom doesn't need to speak to be heard. His presence alone communicates understanding, maturity, and clarity. Younger women notice this instinctively. They feel it in the way he moves, the way he listens, the way he observes the world. It is magnetic because it is rare. True wisdom is not loud, it is subtle. It does not demand attention, it earns it, and that earned respect is irresistible. Psychologically, this quality is powerful because humans are drawn to stability, insight, and reliability. Words are temporary, but presence is permanent. A man who carries himself with wisdom shows that he has faced challenges, made mistakes, learned from them, and emerged stronger, calmer, and more aware. He demonstrates, without speaking, that he understands human nature, that he knows how to navigate life's complexities, and that he can handle situations with patience and clarity. That unspoken mastery of life is magnetic because it signals safety, reliability, and depth, qualities that younger women consciously or unconsciously find irresistible. Wisdom that speaks without words also creates space for connection. When a man is deeply self-aware, calm, and observant, he allows others to feel heard, valued, and understood. He doesn't need to dominate conversations or assert his opinions constantly. Instead, he listens deeply, responds thoughtfully, and acts with discretion. This kind of energy makes women feel seen without the need for drama or pretense. It communicates that he is not reactive, that he can handle complexity without being overwhelmed, and that he is capable of partnership that is both deep and respectful. That presence builds trust faster than any words ever could. Consider the philosophical aspect of this. Wisdom without words is the art of living fully and consciously. It is about observing life, learning from experiences, and embodying understanding rather than reaching it. It is about being so attuned to the flow of life that your presence alone communicates insight. This is the quality that separates men who are truly attractive from those who simply chase attention. Younger women are drawn to the former because they recognize the subtle energy of experience and insight. It promises stability, clarity, and perspective, qualities that go far beyond looks, status, or superficial charm. Another important aspect is patience. Wisdom requires patience because it comes from reflection, observation, and careful consideration. A man who speaks only when necessary, who acts deliberately, and who evaluates situations calmly before reacting demonstrates a level of mastery that is magnetic. Younger women notice the contrast between impulsive behavior and deliberate action. They are drawn to the man who seems to understand the consequences of his actions, who chooses his words carefully, and who embodies a sense of calm authority. This is wisdom in motion. True wisdom is also intertwined with humility. A man who has truly learned from life knows the limits of his knowledge. He does not need to impress, dominate, or control. He recognizes that learning is endless and that every experience, every person, every moment contains lessons. That humility combined with insight creates an energy that is both powerful and approachable. It is magnetic because it balances authority with accessibility, strength with compassion, and intelligence with empathy. Younger women sense this energy immediately. It is rare, authentic, and deeply attractive. Wisdom without words also manifests in the way a man handles conflict and challenges. When faced with adversity, he does not panic. He does not react impulsively. He observes, evaluates, and responds thoughtfully. He understands that every situation has multiple layers and that reactions must be measured, not emotional. That calm presence under pressure communicates competence, stability, and reliability. Younger women, especially those navigating their own uncertainties and challenges, are drawn to men who embody this quality because it promises partnership that is safe, respectful, and grounded in reality. Think about it this way: anyone can talk, anyone can give advice, anyone can try to impress. But it takes a certain depth to influence people through presence alone. A man with wisdom speaks to people through his actions, his calm demeanor, and the energy he radiates. This is subtle, almost imperceptible at first, but it leaves a lasting impression. Younger women, and indeed anyone who is paying attention, notice this quality and are naturally drawn to it because it communicates authenticity, stability, and insight that cannot be faked. Philosophically, wisdom that speaks without words is the intersection of knowledge, experience, and emotional intelligence. It is the understanding that life is complex, that people are flawed, and that circumstances are unpredictable. A man who embodies this does not try to control everything. Instead, he observes, adapts, and influences through presence and action. He does not need validation because he has internalized understanding. He does not need to dominate because his authority is earned through insight and experience. This alignment of knowledge, experience, and emotional intelligence is magnetic, and it is a quality that younger women find profoundly attractive. Another element to understand is the power of silence. A man with wisdom knows when to speak and when to remain silent. Silence is not emptiness, it is presence. Silence communicates confidence, clarity, and thoughtfulness. It signals that he does not need to prove himself constantly, that he trusts his understanding, and that he values observation over impulsive reaction. Younger women notice this because it creates a sense of depth, mystery, and security. It promises a partner who can hold space for them, who can respond with insight rather than reaction, and who can navigate life's complexities with composure. To cultivate this quality, one must embrace life fully and reflectively. One must observe, learn, and internalize experiences rather than merely react to them. Emotional awareness, patience, humility, and discernment are all critical. It is a practice of self-mastery, a commitment to growth, and an understanding that wisdom is not something to display. It is something to embody. When this energy is cultivated, it becomes magnetic. It communicates depth, stability, and insight without the need for words. Younger women sense this energy instinctively, and it draws them closer in ways that superficial charm or forceful presence never can. Ultimately, wisdom that speaks without words is about living with awareness, integrity, and presence. It is about becoming a man whose energy communicates strength, stability, and understanding. It is about creating an aura of reliability, insight, and quiet power that resonates deeply with younger women because it promises security, clarity, and authenticity. This quality, subtle as it may be, transforms how people perceive you, how relationships unfold, and how life responds to your presence. So if you want to embody this quality, start with self-reflection. Observe your thoughts, emotions, and actions. Learn from your experiences. Practice patience and emotional control. Develop humility and insight. Focus on being present, acting with integrity, and influencing through presence rather than words. Over time, this energy becomes visible. It becomes magnetic. It becomes the foundation of trust, admiration, and attraction that cannot be replicated through superficial means. Remember this: the loudest voices are not always the most powerful. The most magnetic presence is often quiet, steady, and deeply aware. Wisdom that speaks without words is the invisible force that draws respect, admiration, and attraction. It is the culmination of experience, insight, and self-mastery. When you embody this, you do not need to chase attention, demand validation, or impress superficially. Your energy, presence, and understanding naturally attract those who recognize true value, including younger women who are searching for stability, depth, and authenticity.